We have Barber's Advocate. We have Mr. Harlan Hope, the Nation. We have JS is here as well. Anybody else from we have the Nation, the Advocate. I haven't seen anybody from CBCs yet, or Starcom Network.
Akin Level, Starcom Network.
Oh, Akin Level is Starcom Network. Okay, so only CBC that is missing then, and Barbers Today. So we'll give them about 5 minutes then. Can we do that? Let's also welcome our Permanent Secretary, Mr. Jeju Wilcher. Welcome, Permanent Secretary.
Yes.
I'm not sure if he's hearing us. Could Fairy F-A-I-R identify themselves, please?
He's one of our teachers.
Oh, that's one of your... Okay. Miss Rhonda Greenwich, where are you from, ma'am?
Prime Minister's office.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's only CBC and Barbers Today from the media houses that are currently missing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll give them another 2-3 minutes, and then we can proceed. Is that agreeable with everybody, Minister?
Well, I'm actually in my constituency office, so I have my people outside waiting. So.
All right, so 2 minutes exactly, and then we'll start.
If the minister is here, the media should be here.
That's right. Minister, this broadcast is being carried live on our Facebook page as well.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. All right, Director, what shall we do? Shall we start now?
I think we should start.
Okay. Okay, good evening. Once again, I'm John Downs, Library Assistant and Program Coordinator of the National Library Service. I'm very pleased to welcome you to the launch of the Chinese Language and Culture Program. We are very honored to have partnered with the Confucius Institute of the University of West Indies to make this initiative a reality. The Honorable John King, Minister of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office, Mr. Jehu Wilcher, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Culture, Professor the Most Honorable Eugene Barreto, Pro Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of West Indies, CAVEHILL Campus, Mrs. Grace Haynes, Director, National Library Service, Dr. Ryan Lee, and Mr. David Babrio, coordinators of the Confucius Institute, members of staff, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. At this time, I'd like to invite Mrs. Grace Haynes, our director, to deliver the opening welcome. Mrs. Haynes.
Thank you, Mr. Downs. Good evening, everyone. The Honorable John King, Minister of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office, Mr. Jehu Wilcher, Permanent Secretary, Minister of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office, Culture, Professor the Most Honorable V. Eugene Barreto, Pro Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of the West Indies, CAVEHILL Campus, Dr. Renian Lee and Mr. David Babulia, co-directors of the Confucius Institute, members of the media, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is indeed a privilege and an honor to welcome you to the launch of this outreach program in Chinese language Mandarin. We are pleased that the Confucius Institute of the University of the West Indies, CAVEHILL Campus, has agreed to partner with the National Library Service to conduct these sessions in Chinese language and culture for our adult population. This initiative is part of the library's literacy thrust to expose the populace to foreign languages. In addition to Mandarin, we are currently conducting online Spanish classes for children in association with the Embassy of Argentina, and we will be commencing sessions for adults from January in collaboration with the Venezuelan Embassy. Chinese is listed among the languages which are most difficult for a person from the Western linguistic groups to learn, and in order to bolster this, some aspects of Chinese culture will be taught to facilitate the learning process of Mandarin. Participants, it is hoped that this collaboration with the Confucius Institute will be long-term. I encourage you to embrace Chinese and Mandarin and transition to a higher level. We look forward to an insightful evening, and I thank you for attending.
Thank you, Director. At this time, it is my distinct honor to welcome Professor, the Most Honorable Yuding Barato, Pro-Vice Chancellor and Principal of the University of West Indies CAVEHILL campus, to deliver her remarks. Madam Principal.
Thank you, Master of Ceremonies. The Honorable John King, Minister of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office, Mr. Jehu Wilshire, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Culture in the Prime Minister's Office, Mrs. Grace Haynes, Director Acting, the National Library Service, Mr. John Downs, Library Assistant, the National Library Service, Dr. Renyan Lee, Co-Director of the Confucius Institute of the UWI-CH campus, Mr. David Bulbulia, Co-Director of the Confucius Institute of the UWI-CH campus, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
The University of the West Indies CAVEHILL campus is very pleased to take part in this initiative that seeks to widen educational opportunities, especially one that fosters deeper understanding of a leading foreign language and culture. In our public outreach and public engagement mandate, a request to the University of the West Indies CAVEHILL campus is never met with hesitation. We often require a little notice, but not hesitation. Instead, we respond decisively and immediately. We do this because we believe that education is a public good and that the UWI's mandate to advance education is unwavering and unchallenged. I can give you that commitment for the CAVEHILL campus, which I lead. Indeed, as the foremost provider of higher education in the region, the UWI often partners with libraries because we know you are committed stakeholders in the public education process. Such collaboration enables us to stay focused on our AAA strategic plan, which embodies the goals of access, alignment, and agility. In this regard, the University of the West Indies CAVEHILL campus is pleased to have responded swiftly and readily to the request from the Barbados National Library Service to establish a partnership aimed at offering Mandarin Chinese classes to adults and young adults via the Zoom platform. This program, which will be implemented by the Confucius Institute at CAVEHILL, contains many elements of which we are exceedingly proud. The establishment of the Confucius Institute is due to our recognition that the work of the CAVEHILL campus must be internationalized. In the second decade of the 21st century, we have no choice if we are to transform our educational goods and services to meet the challenges of a rapidly evolving global environment. Barbadian and Caribbean citizens must be multilingual. We have lost the languages of our ancestors. We cannot afford the luxury of perpetuating the myth that we need fluency in only one language to successfully navigate what we can already discern will be a long and demanding century. In addition to ensuring our command of the English language, and that we must continue to do, our citizens must attain greater fluency in Spanish. And I'm very pleased, Mrs. Haynes, to hear of the initiative with the Argentinian and Venezuelan embassies. They must attain fluency in French and now should learn Mandarin. Multilingualism is now as essential as digital literacy, and the CAVEHILL campus is committed to advancing both. The decision to establish the Confucius Institute also served to align the CAVEHILL campus with the goals and objectives of our host country, Barbados, and many countries served by the UWI to deepen and expand cooperation with the People's Republic of China. From its establishment on April 20th, 2015, the Confucius Institute has worked steadfastly to equip students with the knowledge to see China both as a viable option for pursuing studies and for business opportunities. And we are also equipped to offer them the tools to do so. At a personal level, my vocabulary is growing somewhat more carefully, I should say. But I am very proud that I can say ni hao and definitely cambe, which I often say when I raise a drink with my Chinese counterparts. So after, you can ask all of us what cambe is, but it's a serious part of my vocabulary. Let's just say cambe. Much of the groundwork for the Confucius Institute was started some 2 years before Barbados opened its embassy in Beijing in 2010. That is when my predecessor, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, then principal of the CAVEHILL campus and now vice chancellor, created an international office to operationalize the vision for the internationalization of the campus. The strategic plan prepared by the international office included the establishment of the Confucius Institute as a central part of the UWI strategy. The Confucius Institute was seen as serving as a catalyst to help further the transformation of the campus by including an additional world language and a logical way of supporting the government of Barbados in its bilateral links with China. That is, it involves the critical role of using language to facilitate culture and commerce. The Confucius Institute also strengthens the role of the UWI in supporting regional development. Our efforts were supported by several of our partners, and when the proposal reached the office of the Prime Minister, it very quickly became part of the bilateral agenda when the then Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Frundell Stewart, met with the Chinese leader, President Xi Jinping, in Trinidad and Tobago in June of 2013 and later in Beijing. Since then, the vision to establish the Confucius Institute has witnessed rapidly expanded growth in the interaction between the Caribbean and China. The demand for the educational and cultural services of the Confucius Institute has grown. Mandarin is now part of the curricula of the Caribbean Examinations Council. The work of our Confucius Institute has been of such a high standard that it has gone on to win a coveted international award for excellence, namely the Confucius Institute of the Year Award, bestowed on the Confucius Institute at the 12th Confucius Institute Conference in Xi'an, China in December 2017. and that was for its outstanding achievements. I was extremely proud on behalf of the university, the Confucius Institute, and the CAVEHILL campus to receive that award in Xi'an, China, from the Deputy Premier of China at the time. I was extremely proud, and it was a wonderful occasion. What is remarkable, and I should tell you that there are over 500 Confucius Institutes worldwide, but what was remarkable is that when the CAVEHILL CI earned this award, it was a mere 2.5 years after its establishment. The record of the Confucius Institute at CAVEHILL includes becoming the first Confucius Institute in the Eastern Caribbean certified to offer the internationally accepted test for Chinese proficiency, the Hanyu Xunping Kaoshi, or otherwise HSK, and associated tests, and the successful hosting of the first regional conference of Confucius Institutes in the Caribbean, even though, again, at the time of the conference, the Confucius Institute was the newest in the Caribbean. So the adults and learners who are beginning this program with the National Library Service, if they migrate or graduate to a proficiency, a higher proficiency, we have the capacity, the certification to test them. And we are the only institute in the Eastern Caribbean that can test them and offer HSK certification, which is recognized by China and other educational institutions who recognize the value of that certification. So you are starting something that is meaningful and beneficial. The CAVEHILL campus is very fortunate to enjoy excellent support from our partner institution in China, the very credible and well-known and renowned China University of Political Science and Law, where I have some very dear colleagues. From its inception, the CUPL has broadened the scope of cooperation with the CAVEHILL campus, as well as the CUPL has offered to my colleagues at the CAVEHILL campus its vast network of contacts in China's higher education infrastructure. And those of you in the know would imagine the university system in a country as vast and as populated as China. And the China University of Political Science and Law is the number 2 in China in political science and law. So we have an excellent partner. And they have done this to facilitate the wider connections for the CAVEHILL campus. As principal, I am extremely pleased to build on the excellent work of Sir Hilary Beckles, as well as enjoy the full support extended to me by my counterpart at CUPL, Professor Ma Huaide, president of the China University of Political Science and Law, and his immediate predecessor. The campus was also quite pleased to witness CAVEHILL students engage in legal debates with their Chinese counterparts, both in China and Barbados. And in Barbados, we were very fortunate to have the final in one of the Supreme Courts, in which we had a distinguished panel of judges, including our then Chief Justice. And should we host that debate again, I am going to ask the new Chief Justice to be a judge. And while those debates were in English, I promised my colleagues at CUPL, I promised them this in 2018, that within a decade, the CAVEHILL students will conduct their debates in Mandarin, much as the Chinese students offered excellent legal arguments in fluent English while displaying a sophisticated legal vocabulary. When you heard those Chinese students, you would think their first language was English. So I said, I'm not having it. I am putting my successor at CAVEHILL, the next principal, and my future students, because they are not at CAVEHILL yet, I am putting them on notice that they have to deliver a debate in Chinese in 2028. And especially in 2028, since I am not going to be the principal, they have to deliver. I'm going to sit in the audience and cheer. The CI at CAVEHILL is an integral part of our campus community. I cannot tell you all the wonderful things that they do, but I'll just give you a taste of it, of how they are working to integrate teaching Chinese language and culture and helping to facilitate research by the relevant department. So that, for example, the excellent work undertaken by Salises in co-hosting the Belt and Road Symposium and establishing the Belt and Road Network along with the Schmieder Ramphal Trade Center. But let me just again give you some highlights as to why they are so qualified to deliver this teaching. They teach in 2 secondary schools, the Ellerslie School, somehow very dear to my heart, and the Springer Memorial School, and 2 primary schools, the St. Stephen's Schools and the Charles F. Broome School, St. Stephen's School, sorry. They also teach Chinese to students enrolled in the UWI China Institute of Information Technology Software Engineering Program. They offer a co-curricular course, Introduction to Chinese Culture, and maintain an evening studies program. They offer individually presented VIP classes. They prepare students for and also administer this standardized HSK, which, as I had told you already, the Hanyu, Shuiping, Huiyu, Kaoshi, HSKK, and Youth Chinese tests. They offer the Culture Club, which presents in short format aspects of Chinese culture and also the experience of Caribbean people studying and or living and working in China. And there are many other specialized programs. Please visit the website of the Confucius Institute at CAVEHILL for more details on the rich vibrancy of the work program of the Confucius Institute. But trust me when I tell you, as principal of the CAVEHILL campus, I am extremely proud and pleased of the work undertaken by my 2 co-directors and the excellent staff of teachers and volunteers of the Confucius Institute. To this wide array of activities, we are now very pleased to add the online evening classes under the Barbados National Library Services. And I love libraries, so I am extremely pleased to be partnering with the National Library Service. The introduction of this program provides further evidence that the campus is true to its AAA goals. It is agile to make necessary changes within a short period of time. We are committed to ensuring the widest access to our programs by partnering, in this instance, with the National Library Service of Barbados, an institution with a long history of strong local outreach. And I hope the National Library Service will grow from strength to strength. And we are doing this while embracing the online means of content delivery, made more necessary and urgent in the COVID-19 environment, but which, Minister, was always relevant, and we are seeing the relevance brought home to us now. And finally, our third goal of alignment and demonstrating in this partnership that we are fully aligned with the needs of our community in Barbados and the wider Caribbean, because the CAVEHILL campus takes community outreach very seriously. The CAVEHILL campus is ready to assist the government of Barbados with the stated aim of exposing all students to learning at least 2 languages. The Prime Minister of Barbados, the Right Honorable Mia Amo Motley, has publicly declared that bilingualism in Mandarin is one of the nation's objectives by 2030, and the CAVEHILL campus and its Confucius Institute is here to assist in doing that. We are therefore very excited at the prospects for this program, which takes the teaching of Chinese language and culture to the national level and at no cost to the public. We are very pleased also to hear that the response to the program has been phenomenal. I understand, Mrs. Haynes, that by October 30th, 89 persons were already registered. I expect that you can perhaps provide us with a confirmation of the final enrollment. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for listening. In concluding, I congratulate the National Library Service for this initiative, which seamlessly aligns with the vision of the CAVEHILL campus. I extend best wishes for what I know will be a very successful program, and I have a sense that it will be repeated again in the next academic year. Congratulations and thank you very much. Good evening.
Thank you, Professor Barreto. And yes, it is our intention at the National Library Service to continue the program. We are not only going to start the students off, but we're going to continue to have an intermediate session followed by an advanced session. So we will be taking them right from the beginning to an advanced stage. At this time, we will view a video presentation of a donation of books and videos by the Confucius Institute to the National Library Service. This will be followed by a Chinese cultural presentation. I now invite Mr. David Boblier to take us through those presentations.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Haynes. Good evening,
Dongs.
Minister.
But it's okay.
I will start rolling share screen, roll the video.
Timmy, you didn't share a screen.
as you mentioned, given the stated policy of governments around us, not just this government, but preceding governments also, to have as many persons as possible bilingual, and Chinese, as you rightly identified, as one of those languages that is seen as very key to that process. So we are very happy on behalf of the University of Sydney to be here, partnering with the National Library Service in this very important endeavor.
I would say our computer system is a great to introduce our Chinese culture and language here in Barbados, in Caribbean, and we would like to be another great, as a same great idea, we enter another direction, introduce Caribbean, Barbadian culture into China.
Thank you. Okay, on the next video, which I will open first, is giving you an example of what students may achieve after 2-3 years of dedicated study of Chinese or not. Okay, one moment. No. One moment. Problem was I could not open both at the same time. By way of explanation, this is the showing what a student may achieve after some time in studying Chinese. Are you seeing this one?
Yes, I can see.
This is one of our students here. Are you hearing it also?
Yes, we are hearing.
Right. This is one of our students here at the Confucius Institute in her presentation of the regional competition done by our regional office.
今天我酱椒牛肉饺子。
Chinese dumplings.
我们需要蒜末、
It's very long, so we may cut it.
洋葱、
We have to blame YouTube for this one. It is stuck. As Mr. John said, technology can help by doing this something.
芹菜、 酱油、 芝麻油。 根据你制作的饺子，
Okay.
大小可以制作20到30个饺子。
I should mention that the dumplings are to Chinese as monkeys are to Barbadians.
蔬菜、
I can sense that this is very active to the preparation. They are one the preparation of this like Chinese.
逐渐将水加到面粉中，并揉搓，然后使其工作得很好。让它休息半个小时。 拉盛面团，并使其均匀。像这样切。按下，这样将面浆滚动到边缘，使它变得美观、平坦和圆形。首先，把面皮放在手里，然后用勺子把牛肉放在面皮里，不要太多。然后用你的右手的大拇指和食指把面包皮包起来。
Okay, thank you. I think you
再来看看，这样握在你手指上。
When this very much.
确保其
Back over to you.
Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and great success to the program. It was a pleasure to be part of it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Good evening.
So we
Over now to the actual class.
yes, so we have the class starting immediately after this launch.
There's
So
another link for that separately.
So media houses, thank you again for taking part. Let me said you want me to give you a call. If you can give me about 15 minutes or so, I will do that.
Okay, good evening.
All right, David, we have to leave this meeting and then we will join the...
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello? Someone is speaking? Did someone speak just now? Okay.